So wild movement in crypto markets, wild movement in stock markets. I mean, bonds, we know the bond market has been crazy with yields. But bottom line is, when you look at the crypto market, it did exactly what it should have done. And I know that sounds weird to people, but the charts really give us insights. They give us the probabilities to kind of decipher what the likely outcome is. And I remember last time we talked about this bigger down move from 69,000 to about 33,000, and then how you got in this sideways choppy kind of consolidation pattern in cryptocurrency. And that's, if you look in a textbook, that's a standard bearish, channel pattern, bear flag pattern. So what that tells you, and by the term bear, we know that more than likely it was going to break down. It did just that, and it came down sharply, basically tagging 25,000 on the charts. Now, one thing I will show you, which is just so cool, and this is just how cool the charts are, but if we go to another channel, and I love my channels, as you guys know, and we flip over to it, and if we just connect this high through right here to this high and this high, so basically the last two highs, and if we just draw a parallel down, look at what you got here. Like, where did Bitcoin stop falling? Right here at the lower end. And look at that hit, and that hit. So it's amazing how these charts show us, but I actually ended up going long on Bitcoin right down here just for a trade. Again, it's not a long-term investment, but just for a trade based on the fact that we hit this lower end of the trend.
My question to you is, what's your target now? You had said 20,000 or lower, possibly 10,000. Are you sticking to that? Is this the bottom, or more bad news coming?
Yeah, so right now, nothing in the chart has changed. So 20,000 is the high end of my target. And again, just to understand where that's coming from, it's coming from the 2017 high. I believe that we have to get back there. We have to retest it. The idea here is that we're going through this first time ever for cryptocurrency where, the Fed is hiking rates substantially. They're sucking money out of the system. We've never had a period since Bitcoin's inception where there wasn't some sort of QE going on, right? Well, now they've sucked that out. They've taken that away. They're reducing their balance sheet and they're raising rates. So it implies that we should have a bigger correction than usual. The other thing that I'd love to show you guys is 20,000 is the high end of my target. The low end is actually down at 12,000. And the way I'm getting that 12,000 target is basically, if you look at this move down from 69,000 to 33,000, that's basically a vertical drop of $33,000. And if you take this high here at 48 and drop that same 33,000 down, which is what's called a measured move in technical analysis, you get $12,000. And what's even more fascinating is that if you look at previous cycles, like 2017, when it topped out till the end of the bear market, in 2013, Bitcoin corrected 80 to 85%. Well, guess where 80 to 85% is? It's right around 12,000. So 20,000 is my high end, and 12,000 would be my worst case scenario correction on Bitcoin.
12,000. Sorry, in what time frame could we see it go that low? Would it just happen quickly or over a few months? How fast does that happen?
Yeah, so past cycles usually from the highs. So if you go back to November of 2021, it's 12 to 18 months. So we're already over 6 months into that, which implies give or take around 12 months more until we reach the bottom. But I do think that what'll end up happening is it'll be when fear gets to that level. We know fear is very pervasive. It'll be a fast move down, and then my guess is you'll get a bounce off that lows, but it'll chop around after that for a while until the next bull market takes over. I think it's important to be clear is that I do not have a magic 8-ball or a crystal ball. So, there's no guarantees it goes to 12. I mean, heck, there's no guarantees it goes to 20. So what I generally recommend at this stage, now that it's down from 69 to 29 or so, is that you start thinking about, okay, I missed selling at the highs. That's one thing. You can't undo that. Instead, think about, do you still believe in the long-term cryptocurrency story, the long-term Bitcoin story? And if you do, then what I would recommend is dollar cost averaging slowly, nothing crazy, but every $3,000 or $5,000 down, have a standard amount that you've already set aside and say, okay, I'm willing to put a little bit more in to bring my overall average down. And this way, you'll have that exposure. If it just goes to 21, doesn't even get to 20, you're exposed. If it goes lower, you get a lower average. I think that's the play at this stage for most people. If you believe in that long-term case, and remember, you always have to reanalyze that. What I suggest is every month, re-asking yourself, is the thesis still valid? And as long as it is, then I think overall, and I do believe in Bitcoin longer term, I think that you will be rewarded if you hold and you hold through this pain. But I think it's also important to understand is that in 2017, when we were at the lows, people were talking about Bitcoin not surviving. And you have to be ready to weather that emotional kind of nature that's going to be very, very inbred in a lot of people. You're going to see people writing crazy things on social media, and you have to really be able to block that out and stick with your thesis unless it changes.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race, you're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Markus Dan, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Markus Dan.